right now.
Right now, GMSA, multiple deadly shootings across San Antonio overnight. What we know about them so far.
When all this kind of started, we were really targeting criminals, and I think that what we're seeing a lot is it's not criminals that are being targeted.
Plus, how people are reacting after the immigration arrest across San Antonio last week.
And outside right now, we are starting off the day with plenty of sunshine. It's a beautiful morning, but it's going to be a hot day with a small chance for storms. And we're talking space weather. Yeah, you heard that right. Space. Wow. Space. You excited? You getting excited? A little nerdy?
Getting super nerdy.
Hey, I have got a lot to talk about in the forecast today.
I know. Sarah loves her space. And hey, you said small chance of rain today. Yesterday, I got that small chance of rain. I had a shower at my house yesterday.
You were one of the lucky few.
It was really nice.
Yeah, and where it did rain, it actually rained hard enough to cancel some outdoor activities and things like that. But it was highly, highly isolated. We did have some storms up near Comfort, Kerrville, Bandera. But here in San Antonio, this is where the rain was. The additional rain really just fell kind of right along 1604 there on the north side. Near the rim, about half an inch of rain fell there. Near Stone Oak, about half an inch. But take a look at how isolated this was. Okay, so half an inch of rain fell near Stone Oak right there. And then you go to the north by just a few miles, by less than 2 miles, and absolutely nothing. So very highly isolated rain yesterday, but some neighborhoods got a good splash and dash shower. Today we'll be reaching a high temperature of 95, so it's going to warm up quickly, and that 95 is going to feel more like 100. Rain chances today mainly after 4 and only a 20% chance for a stray storm. But if a storm can get going, it could become severe. We'll talk more about that in a bit, but again, outside right now, it is nice. It's 75, New Braunfels 74, low 70s up in the hill country in Kerrville. And here's the space weather thing I was talking about. The geomagnetic storm. We have a geomagnetic storm alert today and tomorrow. It might be possible for some folks in lower latitudes to see the aurora borealis. More on that and what it means for San Antonio and the hill country coming up.
Sarah, thank you. It was a violent night in San Antonio with several shootings happening all over the city with at least 3 people dead, sending others to the hospital. So let's take a look at where those shootings happened. So they took place from the northwest side to the south and then to the east side. So investigations into all of these remain ongoing, but here's what we know so far. Starting with the one that happened at a townhome on Dartbrook Drive. That's in the northwest side of town. Police say they arrived to find a man dead from apparent gunshot wounds around 11 p.m. last night. He was found on his porch. At this time, there's no information as to why that shooting took place. Now we're going to go over to the second shooting. This one happening at 1:30 on Tidewind Street. That's on the city's south side. Police tell us a man in his early 20s was found dead in the street with several gunshot wounds. Police and EMS arrived and attempted to save his life, but unfortunately he died at the scene. No other injuries were reported. Now homicide detectives are continuing their investigation into that shooting. And the last shooting occurring on the east side just before 3 o'clock this morning at a gas station. San Antonio police say the victim's vehicle was being followed into the gas station on Rigsby Street and W.W. White Road. That's when 2 individuals jumped out, began shooting at the vehicle. The man who was driving, he was hit multiple times, and he's the one who died at the scene. Now, police say there was also a woman in the car with him. She was hit, taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police are currently searching for a burgundy SUV in connection with this shooting. And new this morning, a plea for help from the community with a local pet shop asking for anyone with any information to help them find 2 people who stole 2 snakes from their store. So take a look at this video they posted on their Facebook page. It's Sherwood Forest Feeders on Wednesday, May 28th, these 2 men taking the snakes and money from the register. The snakes are a hypo red-tailed boa and a normal red-tailed boa. You're being asked to keep an eye out for anyone possibly selling them online or anywhere else. And the security footage posted to their Facebook page, you can see that person grabbing the snake out of the drawer, and then that snake actually lunged at him. They are asking anyone with any information to contact them. Well, KSAT has learned the name of the man found dead in Woodlawn Lake following this week's heavy rain. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office has identified him as 18-year-old George Stephen Macias. His body was recovered after a passerby reported it. Fire chief with the battalion fire chief says that he was swept away by floodwater, but an official cause of death has not been determined by the medical examiner's office. This case comes after the body of a 61-year-old woman was also recovered from Woodlawn Lake after she was swept away by heavy rain earlier this year. And U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents made arrests across San Antonio throughout the last week, from a construction site on the UTSA's main campus to an immigration court where a case was being dismissed. The practice of detaining people while working and immediately after a required court hearing is a major topic of conversation. Here's what some people around town had to say about it.
There's a process to immigrate into the country, but I also don't necessarily agree with some of the ways that it's going about right now.
Well, the majority of those people are good people, hardworking, and I don't think a lot of people understand how immigration works. You can't just go and buy a residency card.
After ICE agents were spotted on camera detaining people leaving their immigration hearing in court, a local organization planned a press conference to speak out against these types of arrests. And tomorrow at noon, the Party for Socialism and Liberation plans to hold a press conference to, quote, defend immigrant families and speak out against recent ICE arrests. It will be held at 800 De La Rosa Street. We've learned that the founder of Magnolia Pancake House, a staple breakfast destination in the Alamo City, has died. So the restaurant announced it on its Facebook page yesterday that Robert Fleming Jr., aka Mr. Pancake, died unexpectedly. Fleming was a prominent figure in the hospitality industry. The first Magnolia Pancake House opened in the year 2000, followed by 2 more locations in 2012 and 2020. Under his leadership, Magnolia Pancake House gained recognition as one of Texas's top breakfast destinations. Well, after serving up tacos and dishing out memories for 6 decades, Oscar's Taco House, a beloved Southwest Side restaurant, is closing. Despite the closure, owner Alex Brunida says he's been blessed to run a local gem that felt like a second home for him.
I would just like to say to everybody that's been here, and we appreciate all the business they've done for us. We appreciate every customer. Without these customers, we wouldn't have been here for 63 years. The South Side was, we took care of the South Side for a long time. They took care of us for a long time.
So KSAT asked Bruneda if Oscar's was possibly going to relocate to another location. He told us that the future was uncertain as he was focused on savoring those final days at that location. They officially shut their doors on June 28th, so stop by and show them some love. Okay, it's the first day of June, which means it's summer vacation time for a lot of families across Texas. Our Devin Karp is live over at Buc-ee's in New Braunfels off of 35 with travelers on their way through the Texas roads. Good morning, Devin.
Hey, good morning, Sarah. I'm hanging out with one of my favorite guys over here. Now, we're going to be asking some of these families where they're headed for some of their summer vacations, what their road trips in Texas look like. But first, I'm going to get to this guy. So, Bucky, where are you headed? Seems like the strong but silent type. I have a feeling he's probably a fan of staycations. But for all the cars coming out here today, it looks like there is a pretty big audience for people hitting the road. And if you're hitting the road today, let's talk about something that you're going to be concerned about: gas prices. So across the nation, let's compare some of the national prices, average in the country versus the average prices of gas in Texas. So across the country, the regular average for regular gas is sitting at $3.14. For mid-grade, you're looking at $3.62. And for premium, that's $3.98. But thankfully here in Texas, we're doing a lot better than that according to AAA. The regular average cost for a regular gas of gallon is sitting at $2.71. Mid-grade is $3.16. And the national regular average the Texas premium cost is $3.52. Now back over here, I got to say, when we were heading up this morning, conditions were great. Sun hitting our eyes a little bit, but roads are clear. Still pretty early in this Sunday morning, so people are starting to get ready. I feel like there's never really a time where Buc-ee's isn't packed, but there's definitely a lot of people in there overall. So we're going to be talking with some of the travelers, asking them where they're going, getting some of those tips for staying good during your summer road trips here in Texas. But for now, I'll just go ahead and I'll send it back to y'all. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Devin asked Buc-ee for some beaver nuggets. Yeah, Sunday, big travel day. Thank you, Devin. 8:10, 75 degrees, still ahead on GMSA. Some loving pets are looking for their forever homes. Oh, we'll tell you about the adoption special the Animal Defense League is holding today. Okay, it's hurricane season officially today. It's important to always be prepared. We have a list of safety tips to help keep you and your family safe. That's coming up next.
And outside, it is sunny as we start our Sunday. We're going to be hot with temperatures feeling like 100 degrees this afternoon. But when we come back from the break, I'm going to be talking about space weather, a geomagnetic storm alert. Get your nerd glasses on. We're going to get into it.
Okay, Atlantic hurricane season starts today, but the Federal Emergency Management Agency says it's not ready for what could be another active season, Sarah, with about 10% of its workforce having left since January. So recently, the Texas governor secured FEMA funding for parts of South Texas affected by recent stormy weather, including areas near us.
Yeah, with that being said, though, the Texas Department of Public Safety does urge all Texans to create an emergency plan now, as hurricane season has begun today. It goes through November. You're going to want to make sure your loved ones are better prepared.
Yeah, so we put together an emergency kit with essentials like water, non-perishable food, medications, a first aid kit, flashlights, batteries, a battery-powered radio, personal hygiene items, and important documents. Store it in an easy-to-reach spot.
So you can check out hurricane evacuation maps and identify your local evacuation zones. Pick at least 2 routes just in case you need to leave. And make sure your vehicle is fueled up and ready to go if evacuations are necessary. If you have family members with disabilities or elderly relatives, plan their transportation and support and ensure that they have access to medication and mobility aids.
Yeah, don't forget about your pets. Have a safety plan for them as well. Sign up for emergency alerts to stay informed and always follow evacuation orders from local authorities. And of course, make sure to download the KSAT 12 Weather Authority app. It's free. You can just scan that QR code on your screen to get started. It's the easiest way to get the latest weather warnings and alerts from our team.
I will say this far inland in San Antonio, it'd be very, very unlikely for us to have evacuation orders in San Antonio. However, it is still good to know what you need to do just in case there are flooding issues, because that would be the main thing we would get flooding from the hurricanes.
Right, or you could be down on the coast on vacation, or maybe just don't go if there's a hurricane in the Gulf.
Always being safe is a good idea. I want to transition now, and we'll talk a little bit more about hurricane season in the next half hour, but I want to start with a geomagnetic storm alert. Now, if you've been here in San Antonio long enough, you know that last year, both in May and October, we actually could see the aurora from San Antonio in the hill country. And that's because of geomagnetic activity. Basically, a coronal mass ejection was visible and measurable today from a satellite about 1 million miles away from the Earth. A coronal mass ejection is basically just the sun producing some of its gas and pushing it in our direction. This happens all the time, but for it to be in the direct path of the Earth and one this strong is a little bit on the rare side. Basically what that means is that the aurora here in San Antonio in the hill country may be visible through a camera lens, not necessarily with the naked eye, but I say like a camera lens on your phone, because the instrumentation is a little bit more sensitive through your phone camera. Keep that in mind, but it really depends on, if we can see the aurora, it really depends on continuing solar activity into the evening, and it also depends on cloud cover, because we do have a small chance for a storm or two tonight, and if storms can get going, they might prevent us from seeing anything if anything happens. Tech impacts, there's a slight chance on GPS and satellite interruptions, although the stronger events that happened last year in May and October, we really didn't see any major impacts. If you'd like to learn more about this, and there's plenty more to learn, I wrote an article on KSAT.com right now. You can scan that QR code, check that out. All right, today we are going to be looking at a warm day. We're already in the upper 70s. By 10, it'll be 83, around noon, 89. In the afternoon today, 95 for the high, but that 95 will feel more like 100. And here's that small chance after 4 p.m. for a stray shower or storm. Now, the higher chances for storm activity is actually up near Killeen, Waco, Dallas, College Station, Bryan, into Houston. That area has a higher chance for severe risk, a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. But even northeast of San Antonio, areas like Live Oak, New Braunfels, Seguin, Canyon Lake, Gonzales, Hallettsville, you all have a small chance for a severe storm after 4 p.m. today. Odds in your neighborhood are only 20%, so low chance, but if you do happen to get a storm, it could become severe with hail and gusty winds possible. Otherwise, there's a 100% chance for the heat and humidity, and so it's going to feel like 103 in New Braunfels, 102 in Seguin, 102 in Uvalde. It'll feel like 101 in Bandera and 101 near Stinson. And we're going to continue with that theme this week. Hot and humid. High temperatures will be in the low 90s, but the heat index is going to make it feel like 100 degrees outside, especially at least through Tuesday. What about rain? We do have a small chance, like today, for rain just about every single day in the week ahead. It's because of this big upper level low that's currently producing some rain in Baja California. As it approaches, it'll keep a slight chance for rain in our forecast, although we will not be having as much rain as what we did last week, that's for sure. But Wednesday, we have the highest chance for a few showers and storms at only about 30%. Otherwise, again, warm and humid, feeling like 100 degrees every single day. Small chance for storms will clear out and warm up by the weekend. Again, it is the start of Atlantic hurricane season. I'll have more on that coming up in the next half hour. For now, we'll have more news for you after the break.
Are you looking for a new furry addition to your family? Well, look no further, because today is the last day to take advantage of the Animal Defense League's pop-up party adoption special. You see what they did there? All adoption fees are waived for puppies, kittens, dogs, and cats, and pet adoptions. Come say hi, and all adoptions come with spayed and neutered, vaccinated, microchipped, with many more perks and goodies. I adopted my sister girl. That's the name of my dog's sister, from the ADL. It was the best thing we ever did. Both locations are open from noon to 7 p.m. It's Locals Day at Briscoe Western Art Museum, which means all residents of San Antonio and Bexar County can go and experience the culture and art of the West for free. If you are unable to make it today, don't worry. This day occurs on the first Sunday of each month. It's 8:24, 75 degrees. Europe prepping its next step as President Donald Trump doubles steel tariffs. We'll take a look at what this means for the global trade market.
While Texas weather has felt like summer for a while, now that it's actually here in June, we're taking a look at what travelers are doing and the best ways for you to get on the road here on GMSA. We'll have more right after the break.
Good morning. It is 8:28, 75 degrees out there.
We had a great month of May, especially the end of the month when we got more than 5 inches of rain. Some people forget, though, it was hot for the middle of the month. Remember that?
Oh, I never
4
forget.
days.
I never forget the triple digits.
No. Hey, I do want to start, though, and look at the pollen count. Because of the recent rains, we have seen molds climb. Molds are elevated today in the moderate category, even higher than yesterday at 750. But yes, we got up to 103 in the middle of May, and we had 4 days of record-breaking temperatures. May, though, this past May was really well-rounded, because by the end of the month, we had almost 6 inches of rainfall totally for the month, and even a couple of mornings were in the 50s. So impressive May all across the board. Hot, cool, rainy, dry. We're still in the middle of exceptional drought, so we could take some more rain. But what does June usually have in store for us? Well, we usually start with an average high around 91 and end up with an average high of 93. So just a small increase in temperatures on average. But we usually get a little bit more than 3 inches of rain, which is pretty good for San Antonio. So let's hope that we continue to add more to those rain gauges and see the drought start to to get a dent in it. But as for the forecast for the first full week of June, this year we're going to be looking at temperatures in the low to mid 90s, so a little bit warmer than average, and it's going to be humid, feeling like 100 degrees. Today there is a small chance for storms northeast of San Antonio. More on that and the fact that June kicks off the Atlantic hurricane season. What's the forecast for this season? Details coming up.
First day of June, and it's officially summer vacation time for a lot of families in Texas. Our Devin Karp live at the Buc-ee's off of 35 in New Braunfels, talking with travelers on their way through Texas Road. Have you found anyone traveling this morning, Devin?
There are a lot of people out here, Sarah, this morning. I mean, when we were headed up, the road conditions are just gorgeous. No rain, clear roads, sunny skies as far as you can see. Maybe bring the sunglasses, but besides that, things are doing pretty great out here. If you take a look here, even though it's still early for a Sunday morning, I mean, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a time where Buc-ee's isn't packed, and that certainly holds true for today. There are a lot of travelers going through in between Texas. I've talked with some people who are going through for weddings, seeing family, getting started with their summer vacations, and if you're headed to the pump this morning, well, I've got good news if you live in Texas. So according to AAA, the average price for gas across the nation, if you're buying regular, that's sitting at $3.14. If you're going for that mid-grade, that's sitting at $3.62. And if you're looking at premium, well, that's all the way up to $3.98. But over here in Texas, the average cost of a gallon of gas, according to AAA, if you're thinking about regular, that's $2.71. Then if you're thinking about going for that mid-grade, that's $3.16. Finally, for premium, sitting at $3.52. Not too bad of a day to be a Texan. Besides that, it feels pretty great out here. I've been enjoying it. You know, we've gotten so much rain, especially to our local area over the last week, and you can really tell. I mean, the trees are green, the grass is doing good. Everyone's out here. Almost makes me wish that I wasn't on the clock so I could go on a road trip somewhere in Texas. So that's going to bring me to my next question. So this is for the Sarahs back there. If you guys could get off the desk right now, let's say the show's over, drive anywhere in Texas for a road trip, where are you headed?
In Texas. I like the eastern part of Texas with the pines near your neck of the woods. Especially it's probably pretty green there right now. So I would go that direction.
I'm going to Big Bend.
Look at you.
National Park. That's where I would be going.
Good choice.
It would take me a long time to get there, but
it takes a long time. Love that. Well, thank you so much, Devin. You stay safe.
Sorry, we
cut him off. Wait. Is there any way we can go back to him? We cut him off. No.
I'm probably headed back to Houston so I can see my family. Aww. But besides that, it's a pretty good day to be here in San Antonio area.
All right. Well, stay safe out there, Devin. Thank you. Glad we got back to him. All right. Shifting gears here. Today marks the start of National Dog Bite Awareness Campaign. It's held every year by USPS to bring awareness to the safety issues some Postal Service members may face. This year's theme is Secure Your Dog, Keep Deliveries on Track. Incidents involving dog attacks on Postal Service employees rose to more than 6,000 cases last year. Last year, Texas ranked second out of the 10 states with the greatest number of dog bite incidents, with a total of 438 dog bites against postal workers. And out of the cities with the most dog bite incidents, San Antonio came in at number 11, with there being 32 incidents of dogs biting mail carriers here in San Antonio. So here are some ways you can help. When the mail carrier arrives, keep your dog in a separate room or away from the door. If you step outside, close the door firmly behind you to prevent the dog from slipping out. If you're outside with your dog during delivery, make sure they're secured on a leash and away from the mail carrier. Never accept mail in front of your dog, especially children, as your dog may see them as a threat. Well, Europe is preparing to respond after President Trump said he will double the tariff on steel imports. The president announcing the increase as he celebrated a deal for Japanese company steel to purchase U.S. steel. So here's ABC's Johnny Fernandez with the latest.
President Trump's announced plan to double steel tariffs facing global backlash.
We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States.
The president saying on social media that the tariff increase goes into effect on Wednesday. The European Commission reportedly slamming the move and warning of possible countermeasures, saying it strongly regrets the president's decision and that this undermines ongoing efforts to reach a deal in the trade war. The United Steelworkers Union in Canada calling for an immediate and forceful response from the Canadian government, saying that the double tariff would completely shut them out of the U.S. market. President Trump announced the increase during a rally in the steelmaking city of Pittsburgh, while touting a deal with Japan-based Nippon Steel to purchase U.S. steel.
This steel industry is really important here at the Mon Valley. It's not just for the steel workers, but there's thousands of jobs at stake here. And I'm hoping that it's going to be a good deal.
Last week, the U.S. Court of International Trade ruled only Congress can levy tariffs. One day later, an appeals court ruled the tariffs could continue as the legal process plays out. The president accusing the courts of judicial overreach, saying it hampers his agenda and harms ongoing negotiation with other countries. The tariffs are likely to end up at the Supreme Court. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News, New York.
Well, 1 week after being reported missing, 5 Mexican musicians have been found dead along the Texas-Mexico border. The 9 alleged cartel members have also been arrested. So that's all according to the Associated Press. The musicians from the band Grupo Fugitivo have been kidnapped around 10 p.m. last Sunday. So they were traveling in an SUV on the way to a venue where they had been hired to play. Their bodies were found on the fringes of Reynosa, which is about 4 hours south of San Antonio. Prosecutors said 9 suspects believed to be part of a faction of the Gulf Cartel have been arrested. Well, think your cell phone bill is too high? You're probably right. Many of us are overpaying by hundreds of dollars each year. Consumer Reports found you could save up to $500 a year without sacrificing the coverage or reliability that you depend on. Here's Daphne Gray with the details.
For years, David Morgan stuck with Verizon, even as his monthly bill kept climbing. Like many of us, he was paying more than he wanted for cell phone service.
I felt stuck.
But after 12 years, enough was enough, and David said that he was through paying for extras he didn't need.
I didn't understand why I was paying so much. I couldn't get clarity in terms of what exactly I was paying for.
It's a common issue. The big 3 wireless networks, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, dominate the market. But Consumer Reports says that there are other, cheaper options. And switching to a smaller one like David did can save you some serious money. These smaller providers are called MVNOs. They can charge less for service since they rent space on the same networks built and maintained by the big 3.
U.S. Mobile, Consumer Cellular, and Ting top our ratings, beating out the big guys on value and customer support.
To find the best deal for you, you can check your bill on your phone settings to find out how much data you use each month. You may be paying for more than you need.
Smaller companies typically offer more options, including lower data plans, and some even let you add on data as needed.
Also, pick the best provider for your area. Choose an MVNO that uses the same network if you get a great service.
People often worry about slowdowns with a smaller carrier, but you probably won't notice a difference.
To keep your number, activate your new plan before canceling the old one. Make sure that your phone is paid off, unlocked, and compatible with your new provider. You'll likely need to install a new SIM card or eSIM. It only takes a few simple steps to start saving, and for David, the switch led to even bigger changes.
When I made the switch from Verizon to Ting, it inspired me to look at other bills that I had, and that included my internet and TV bill.
And the savings by switching keep adding up. Daphne Gray, KSAT 12 News.
And if you haven't started doing this already, make sure you take advantage of all the no-brainer cost-saving things like enrolling in paperless and automatic billing and signing up for any discounts made available for seniors, veterans, and teachers. It is 8:39, 75 degrees, coming up super cute. Don't go anywhere. Local preschoolers ending their school year, rocking it out. You don't want to miss this adorable video. As summer inches closer to us, it's pretty much already here. It feels like it. We have some events that you can start looking forward to. That's after the break.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot today. We're gonna have heat index value of 100 degrees. So even though summer's not technically here, it's here. It feels hot outside. But also Atlantic hurricane season started today. What does this season look like according to forecasters? And how about our storm chance today? Details after the break.
All right, it's never too late to start thinking about summer plans, and we have a few ideas to help you get started. This June, San Antonio will host the inaugural Big Texas Terror Comic-Con at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. Ooh, scary. June 14th and 15th, horror film legends like Juliette Lewis, Danny Trejo, and David Arquette will be in town. Fans can look forward to Q&A sessions, photo ops, and autograph signings of their favorite stars. Vendors will also be there offering a variety of horror-themed merchandise. You can find more information about this. Just search KSAT.com, Big Texas Terror. I can't wait till the cosplayers in their scary movie costumes take over downtown. So beware of that. All right, grab your cowboy hats because country music is coming to the Rock at La Cantera this summer. The Spurs Sports and Entertainment will be having a free Taste of Summer concert series featuring 4 headliners starting in June. So scan that QR code. Oh, we don't have a QR code. All right, but go to KSAT.com and you can see everything kicking off on June 7th with all kinds of people taking the stage. That starts. Admission is free and VIP options are available. Okay, the San Antonio Botanical Gardens hosting a music festival on the longest day of the year, June 21st, which is the summer solstice, right, Sarah? All right, more than a dozen musical artists will play from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's a big jam session. So everyone can enjoy. The best part is free. You just need to pre-register, and we have that link for you on our website. And if you love pickleball, don't point at me. Sarah,
you're a pickleball fan.
I'm not I don't even play. I played twice.
Oh.
All right. Well, pickleball is a huge deal here, and we're about to get 2 brand new facilities. Texas Pickle Hall, an indoor pickleball club. Jeez. Plans to open 2 more locations. One in Live Oak off at 35. It's huge. I drive by it all the time. And then one in Southtown. So the Live Oak spot set to open late June, early July. And here's the thing. They're indoor courts. Indoors. Because it's hot outside. And that Southtown 1 location will open later this year. And a place to cool off. The 6 of the city pools are open every weekend from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Those locations you can see located on your screen. In addition, Woodlawn Lake Pool will be open Tuesdays through Fridays from 7:30 in the morning to 9:30 for lap swim and aqua fitness classes. We don't have a lot of places in San Antonio where you can do lap swim, so this is good, especially outdoors. The rest of its 24 outdoor pools are expected to open sometime in June.
And you'll want to cool off this week. I mean, it is going to be hot every day. We're going to be in the low to mid 90s, feeling like 100 degrees. But the thing is, June, it also kicks off Atlantic hurricane season, which goes all the way through the end of November. Here's a look at the 2025 hurricane predictions from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They're predicting a more active than average season with about 13 to 19 named storms. Now, what do I mean by named storms? Anytime a storm becomes a tropical storm or reaches tropical storm strength, it gets a name. And then if those storms strengthen to 74 miles per hour, it becomes a hurricane. And of those named storms, 6 to 10 of them are expected to be hurricanes. And then 3 to 5 of those hurricanes are expected to be major Category 3+ hurricanes later on this year. So that's the forecast from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. As for us here in Texas, just a reminder that just because there's expected to be a more active season, all it takes is one storm to make landfall across Texas to have major impacts. And here's the Texas landfalls since 2000, the strongest of which being Hurricane Ike back in 2008, a Category 5 hurricane. Of course, many of us remember Category 4 Hurricane Harvey back in 2017. And the most recent hurricane landfall in Texas was back last year by Hurricane Beryl, which was a Category 1 hurricane at the time of landfall. Here's a look at the names this year in the Atlantic Basin. These names are picked by the World Meteorological Organization, and they are names that are often familiar to people who live around the Atlantic Basin in the U.S. and Mexico and Central America. These names oftentimes ring a bell. Now, in other basins out in the Pacific and things like that, you'll find names in different languages for the countries that surround those basins. As for our weather, Here in San Antonio, we are sitting at 75 and it is totally sunny. Winds are calm. Humidity, though, is at 90%. And today we're going to be looking at mostly sunny skies to start our day. A few more clouds possible in the afternoon when we'll get into the low 90s. By 3 o'clock, it's going to feel like 100 degrees outside. It's going to feel pretty hot today. And then after 4 o'clock, there's a small 20% chance for a stray storm, especially north and east of San Antonio. Up near Waco, Dallas, Killeen, College Station, out toward Houston. There's a risk for severe weather, a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. But even northeast of San Antonio, we do have a small chance for a few strong thunderstorms. New Braunfels, Seguin, Luling, Gonzales, Hallettsville, Canyon Lake. There is a 20% chance for a strong or severe storm after 4 p.m. We'll be keeping our eye on things. Otherwise, there's a 100% chance for the heat and humidity. It's going to feel like 103 in New Braunfels, 105 in Cotulla, 103 in Victoria, 101 in Del Rio. And as we look at clouds and radar across the nation, you can see that it's fairly quiet with the exception of some storms near the Red River. Our next rain chance is all the way out in the Baja California. We're going to be looking at a few isolated showers and storms happening in San Antonio throughout the week. This week we'll have a small 30% chance by Wednesday for a few showers and storms. Otherwise, it is going to be a pretty hot and humid week for us, clearing out close to 100 degrees by the weekend. I know we were looking at TransGuide over there. Just a reminder that there's some construction going on in the lower levels of 35. And also we're still seeing some of that rain drain from a while ago this past week. So just be careful if you're going to be traveling along 35, the lower levels, they're doing some construction.
Thank you, Sarah. It's 8:50 and 75 degrees.
Here's a look at that.
Here's a look out at TransGuide. What Sarah's talking about was 35 lower levels of San Pedro. It was closed on Friday to that flooding. Still kind of not, it's clearing up.
Yes.
It's not really an issue, but it's still very much there. So just be careful when you're driving. And if there are any other issues out on the roads, we will let you know about it. It was a rocking end of the year for a pre-K class. A class in Divine ISD. They were already rocking out their hearts. Oh my gosh, watch this video. It's so cute. It was shared with us by their teachers. Look at them. She tells us that her class worked really hard in memorizing the lyrics, decorating their guitars, and showing that you're never too young to feel the spirit of rock and roll. Take a listen. Okay, so it might be kind of hard to recognize those lyrics, but it is the Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine, which, by the way, is a very long song. So for them to memorize all the lyrics of Sweet Child of Mine, kudos. Look at them.
Kudos. I love seeing which of the kids are left-handed, have chosen to play their guitar left-handed, which of the kids have chosen to play their guitar right-handed, and mainly just their costumes are epic. And
I liked the headbanger in the back just whole time.
Yeah. Speaking of a good band name, Coronal Mass Ejection. Wouldn't that be a cool band name?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a geomagnetic storm alert because of a coronal mass ejection. Basically,
Sounds
these
like
happen.
a bad headache.
I know, they happen often. It's just that this one in particular is a little strong, and Aurora will be visible at lower latitudes than usual. Here in San Antonio, though, it really is going to depend on the continuing solar activity. Scan that QR code there for details. Molds are moderate today. As for our weather, we are going to be up to 95 today for the high, feeling like 100 degrees, and we'll be looking at temperatures in the low 90s for most of this week. Speaking of music, feeling hot, hot, hot all week long.
Hey, have a good Sunday.